But what else would you advise a leader to do if they wanted to create an environment where people felt safe to speak up? Not that making mistakes is great, but you got to learn from them, right? So find this
Sure.
balance. Like, you don't have carte blanche to be reckless. Nobody's encouraging that, but being open and not being afraid to bring these things up. What can leaders do?
Well, let me give you a different approach. And you talked about feedback before, right? So how it's one thing to admit when you've made mistakes. It's another thing to actually bring people in and ask them for feedback. And if you're able to create that safe environment where you can accept that feedback, and I'll talk about an approach that I've used before, both for me as a leader when I was in an operational leadership role, and how I coach others. That one of the best things they can do, especially if they feel that they're losing a little bit of voice or losing a bit of influence with their team, is to invite them in to, you can call it open office hours or whatever it is, but really invite them in and ask them 3 specific questions. Can you tell me what you think it is about my leadership that I need to keep doing? Can you tell me what it is that I need to start doing? And can you tell me what it is that I need to stop doing? But if you're able to do this with integrity and really write down what those individuals say, and that you're able to not explain your actions in that meeting, but show potential behavioral changes that exist within that. And I know there's a specific coaching example of an individual that I had recently where she implemented this with her team, and she's had 5 people come in, and it's resulted in her changing her standard work from a leadership perspective dramatically with regards to how she deals with her team and positive. So one is to be able to ask for that feedback and be okay receiving feedback. Because the fact is, look, if you think you have a weakness, but you don't want them to know, you don't want your team to know, they already know. If you haven't given them an open environment, they're not going to come and tell you. So you have to give them an open environment. So asking for that feedback is one of the ways to do that. And the last question I often coach leaders to ask when they're in the workplace talking to people is, how can I help? How can I help you when you're dealing with this, whether it's a work challenge or some other challenge? And I'll see what I can do to be able to help you out. And then the secondly is to ask directly for feedback, not in a survey on a computer, but call them in and chat with them one-on-one, face-to-face, and go forward with that.